Hello there, today is 1853. I'm going to base these two commissions. I did a little prep work for them last night, and I put the texture paint down so it was nice and dry for the morning. And so I could crack on with basically giving them a quick dry brush of Carrick stone and then painting the rim a nice black. I also needed to paint the rock that the Grey Knight was standing on, so that didn't take long at all. That was just a 3-minute job at best. It was just a quick once over with Dawnstone, a little bit of a dry brush with a lighter grey, and then a wash. And then I added some super glue to their feet and I glued them into place. With that out of the way, I thought I'd crack on with my main focus of the week, which is going to be the Legion Imperialis stuff that arrived on Saturday. Do plan on doing a live build, however I thought I'd start straight away, so I don't really have much else to do, and I wanted to start painting these guys up as soon as possible. Now for the little dudes, I'm going to keep them on their base. Apart from the missile launchers, I'm actually going to glue them to their shoulders, and everything else I'm going to build. That will take quite a while because these guys are super fiddly. I absolutely love them, but they are really tiny and really fiddly. I just did the Space Marine stuff because I thought I'd get one army started. Once built, even though it's quite cold, I did go outside and give them a quick once over with white, as I plan on painting these guys in Imperial fist colours. I also added some static clumps to the commissions, and now they are 100% finished. I'm going to crack on, get some videos done, put them on Instagram, and I'm going to send them to the person they belong to. Today is 1854, and I'm going to continue work with the Legions Imperialis stuff. I have decided I am going to do them in Imperial fist colours, which means I'm going to be painting a lot of yellow today. First things first, I'm going to use a contrast paint, and I am going to paint all the vehicles and get those out of the way before I go ahead and tackle the tiny little Space Marines that are on their sprues. There are a lot of Space Marines on here, so it's going to take a while to get a nice even coat and to make sure that the whole miniature is actually covered. I'm going to do one side of it, and then after I've done that, I'm going to flip it around and do the other side, and then I'll repeat that step for the other Space Marine sprue. Painting on sprues, it seems, aren't without their problem. One of the missile launchers pinged off one of the guys, so I'm going to have to glue that separately later. There's also another one that's a little bit loose, as it were, and I've got one of my Assault Marines. His weapon is also coming off. All that means, though, is I need to take extra care when painting those on that sprue. I'm going to give the vehicles a second coat of contrast just to deepen the colours in the recesses. And once that's dry, I'm going to give everything a dry brush in a yellow. It's Flash Gits Yellow is the paint that I used. It's a nice bright, vibrant yellow. I want to just make sure I pick out the very tiny details. And there are a lot considering how small these guys are. I'll do it on both the vehicles and the Marines. Once I've done that, I'll give everything a very light dry brush with a lighter yellow just to pick out any more finer details. As you can see, I've also dry brushed my thumb. I'm not used to painting on sprues. This is the first time I've ever done it, but it is it's not without its challenges, I'll say that. But it has been worth it. 2 hours later, and all the lovely yellow is completed. Tomorrow I'll start work on painting the actual details on the vehicles. I also did a live stream where I put together some of the solar auxiliary. Today is 1855, and I'm going to get some work done on these guys. I don't have much time because I kind of woke up late today because my alarms didn't go off, so it'll just be a couple of vehicles. I've decided to do the Psychorans. I'm definitely pronouncing that wrong, as today's little project. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the side sponsons and other details black. And once that's done, I'm then going to go ahead and start painting some darker metal on the tracks and a few of these sort of gun pieces. And after which I will then use a lighter metal to paint some more detailing, and then I'll give everything a wash with non-oil, except obviously the yellow. And annoyingly, that's all I've got time for today, but I'm quite happy with the results. I think they look pretty nifty. I did also give them a quick highlight, or the black areas a quick highlight, but sadly that's all I can do today. Definitely get more done tomorrow. Today is 1856, and I'm going to continue work on Legions Imperialis. I'm going to get the Space Marine Predators done today. Much like yesterday, I'm going to start with the black. Trying to break up some of that sort of massive amount of yellow there. I'm using a contrast paint, that way it's a little bit easier to control and a little bit thinner, so I'll take a couple of coats at least to get a nice smooth look. After that, I'm going to use a darker metal. I think it's Iron Warriors metal that I'm using to paint the tracks and the exhaust ports. I'll also paint the cowcatcher thing at the front, which will then be followed up by a lighter silver to pick out some more of the details, mostly on the gun barrels and just a little bit on the actual bodies of the tanks themselves. Once that's all done, I'm then going to give a wash to all the black and silver areas just to get a little bit of depth in the color, because obviously these things are so small. It's kind of difficult to actually do a lot of highlighting, so I want to get as much in there as I can. I'll then highlight the black with a very dark grey. I then went ahead and added some lights to the front. It didn't take long, so I didn't bother recording it. And yes, they're done. Fantastic, absolutely love them. Tomorrow starts the infantry. Today is 1857, and I'm going to get these contemplated dreadnoughts done for Legions Imperialis, and I'm probably going to start some of these little dudes as well. Starting as always with the black, I'm going to paint what I deem necessary. I'm also going to try and paint each one slightly differently so they don't all look the same. From there, with some very blurry footage, I will paint the metal on there as well. This is a darker metal for things like limbs and connection ports and stuff like that, rather than the actual weapons. I'll paint the weapons in a slightly lighter metal. I'll do that so basically the metals stand out from each other rather than everything looking uniform and exactly the same. I'll then give the black and metal a once over with some non-oil just to get some extra shading in there. And while that's drying, I'll do a little bit of gold trim just above their heads, and I'll paint their heads red. And then once that is done, I'll give the black a little bit of a highlight with a dark grey. With all 4 dreadnoughts out of the way, I'm then going to start painting the black on all these tiny little dudes. It is going to take a very long time to do so, so that's going to be the rest of my day finished. I didn't get them all finished either. I got quite a few of them done. There's still plenty left over for tomorrow, but I don't have much time tomorrow, so I don't know how many I'll get done. I'm pretty happy with the way the dreadnoughts have turned out as well. They just need to be based, but I'll base them alongside everything else when I do all the basing. And finally, I did a live stream as well, where I put together the rest of the Legions Imperialis stuff. Today is 1858, and I'm going to continue work on these little dudes. Now, I did start by continuing from where I left off yesterday and painting it black, but to be honest, that was starting to get a bit tedious and a bit boring, so I've decided to do something slightly different. I thought instead of actually doing everything in one go, I thought I'd actually do it by unit. So I'm going to do these little dudes with all the plasma guns first, get them out of the way. I don't have much time today, so we'll do that, and then tomorrow we'll do something else like the assault teams, and then we'll work our way through each unit until they're all finished. I am really enjoying painting these little guys. I think this is definitely the way I should go. Painting them all in one go would be a bit crazy, so I'm going to do unit by unit. Really happy with the results. Can't wait to do more tomorrow. I also gave the Soul Auxiliary stuff a quick once over with some black spray in preparation for when they get painted. Today is 1859, and I'm going to continue work with the tiny little Marines. As I only plan on doing them unit at a time now, I'm also going to be doing 4 bases, so hopefully I'll have the first 4 units finished today. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to finish off these Terminators on the sprue that I haven't actually painted all the black for. Give them a couple of coats of a Black Templar contrast, followed by picking out the silver details on the weapons, and then finally I'll pick out all the gold trim, and I'll also do the red for the Sergeant's helmet. With the Terminators out of the way, I'm going to start doing the bases. First of all, I'm going to give them a coat of Dawnstone, then a quick light grey dry brush, I'll then paint all the rims. I'm also doing the Dreadnoughts as well at the same time, so I'll be painting those rims as well. And then finally, I'll be clipping the little dudes off their sprues, cleaning up the bottom, and then I'll add the tiniest of tiny bits of super glue to add them to their bases. Once the glue is dry, I'm then going to give everything a nice wash with some Agrax Earthshade. I'm going to water it down a little bit so it's a little bit lighter and making sure it doesn't pool everywhere. You also get a few spares of the actual of the little dudes, so I'll sling those in a bag just in case I ever need to use them. And that's today's hobby streak done. Finally finished the Dreadnought. I need to still do the transfers, but we're going to do that when we do the banners and finish the first 4 units. Pretty happy with everything that I've done this week. We managed to get everything stuck together, even though those fiddly little tanks were a bit of a pain in the backside and took a long time to stick together. We got them out of the way. And we're well on the way to finishing the Imperial fists. I just need to add the transfers for the tanks, as well as finish off a few more units, which I'll do next week, along with the Solar Auxiliary. If you've made it all the way to the end of the video, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, I guess I'll see you next week. Bye for now.